Come closer, my child. Slow your breath. Let the noise around you fade, because this moment was protected for you. I did not call you here by accident, and you did not arrive by curiosity alone. Something within you sensed a quiet urgency, a gentle pull that said, "Listen now." That was me. I am asking you for stillness, not effort. For attention, not fear. For trust, not understanding. Just a small space in your time where heaven can speak without interruption. There is a reason your body feels tired in ways sleep has not fixed. There is a reason your chest tightens when you are alone, and your thoughts circle late at night. I see what you have been carrying silently, the tension you normalized, the discomfort you learned to live with. You told yourself it was stress or age or circumstance. But I am telling you now, there is more beneath the surface, and it is not meant to alarm you. It is meant to awaken you. Do not move away from this moment. Do not scroll past it as if it were another voice competing for your attention. I am not rushing you, but I am asking you to pause. Heaven has leaned in. The spiritual realm has taken notice of your physical frame, the vessel that has endured more than you admit. You have been strong for too long without being replenished, and strength without restoration always leaves marks. I am not here to condemn your body. I am not disappointed in it. I designed it with wisdom, layers of protection, and the ability to heal. But even the strongest structure sends signals when it had been under unseen pressure. And those signals are what brought you here. That quiet ache, that unexplained fatigue, that sense that something is shifting inside you, even if you cannot name it. Listen to me now. This is not about panic. This is about awareness. There is a window opening where clarity replaces confusion, where understanding replaces fear. In this stillness, you are being invited to notice what you have ignored, not with dread, but with compassion. Your body hath been loyal to you. It has carried emotional weight, spiritual battles, and unspoken grief without complaint. But heaven has watched every moment. I am asking you to give me these minutes because they matter. What is revealed gently can be corrected gently. What is acknowledged in peace does not need to escalate in crisis. You are not being warned of disaster. You are being invited into alignment. There are things happening beneath your awareness, conversations in the spiritual realm concerning your strength, your endurance, your future. You are not alone in this, even if you have felt isolated inside your own skin. As you listen, let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. You do not need to brace yourself. I am with you, and I am careful with those I love. This is the beginning of understanding, not the climax. There is protection already surrounding you, even now, as this message reaches you at the exact time it was meant to. And my child, if you feel a quiet confirmation in your spirit as you hear this, let that acknowledgement be an offering. Gently show your agreement by staying connected to this message, by allowing it to reach others who are also being called into awareness. And if your heart is willing, type the word "still" in the comments as a sign that you are present, listening, and open. This is not for me. It is for you, a marker in time that says, I paused, and I listened. My child, now I speak to you with urgency, not fear. This is Archangel Michael standing at attention beside you, sword lowered, voice steady, eyes fixed on what you cannot see. I am not arriving late. I am arriving precisely when the balance required it. There has been movement around you, activity you felt but could not trace, shifts in your body that seemed subtle at first, then persistent. I need you to hear me clearly now. I need your attention because this moment is protective. I am not here to frighten you. I am here because something important is being addressed. Your body has been under observation in the heavens. Not judgment, not criticism, but concern mixed with respect. You have endured more spiritual resistance than you realize, and your physical form has been absorbing shockwaves meant for your spirit. Many battles you never saw still left residue, and while you continued forward, smiling, functioning, helping others, your body whispered for relief. I speak quickly now because time matters, but not in the way you fear. There are moments when intervention must align with awareness. If awareness delays too long, pressure increases. Heaven does not want pressure for you. Heaven wants precision. I am telling you this so you understand why you were stopped, why your energy dipped, why your body asked you to slow when your mind refused. There are patterns I have watched repeat in you. You push past discomfort. You delay rest. You carry responsibility even when it costs you. You have a habit of protecting others while dismissing your own signals. That is noble, but even warriors must lower their armor. The body is not weak for signaling. It is wise, and wisdom speaks softly before it ever raises its voice. I stand here because something hath been identified that does not belong. Not everything affecting your body originated within it. Some strain came from external pressure, emotional weight transferred through proximity, spiritual resistance aimed at your assignment. You were never meant to absorb it all alone. And now, heaven is stepping in before accumulation becomes burden. You not misunderstand me. This is not a declaration of illness. This is a declaration of intervention. There are moments when angels are dispatched simply to say, stop, look, listen. That is what this is. Your body hath been compensating, adjusting, rerouting energy just to keep you moving. But constant adjustment without restoration creates imbalance, and imbalance invites unnecessary struggle. I need you to hear this next part with calm. Nothing happening in your body has gone unnoticed. Nothing hath been dismissed. Conversations have already taken place. Permissions have been granted. Protection has been reinforced. What you are feeling now is not the start of something going wrong. It is the signal that something is being corrected. I speak urgently because the window is small, not because the danger is large. Awareness now prevents escalation later. Cooperation now brings ease instead of effort. You were brought here because your spirit was ready to listen before your body had to shout. That is grace at work. That is divine timing functioning perfectly. Stay with me. Do not let your thoughts wander into fear. I am not delivering bad news. I am delivering clarity. And clarity is always a gift. You are safe in this moment. Surrounded. Observed with care. Supported by forces you cannot see but have felt your entire life. This is not the end of the message. This is the sharpening of your attention. 3 angels are present, and they are speaking quietly among themselves about what they see within you. What they are noticing matters. And what is about to be revealed was hidden only until you were ready to receive it. My child, I am asking you now for only 2 minutes. Not your whole day. Not your future. Just this small measure of time, because within it, alignment can occur. Heaven works in moments, not hours. Shifts happen quietly when attention is given willingly. This is one of those moments. If you can stay present, if you can resist the urge to drift, something that has been delayed will begin to move again. These 2 minutes are not ordinary. They are set apart. They are the space where resistance loosens its grip and clarity slips in unnoticed. You have been running on instinct, pushing forward because stopping felt dangerous, because slowing down felt like you might fall apart. But hear me now. You do not fall apart in stillness. You recalibrate. Your body understands this language, even if your mind has forgotten it. I see how often you override your own needs, how you silence signals with distraction, how you tell yourself you will deal with it later. Later has been patient, but it has also been waiting. This is not about blame. This is about timing. There are things your body has been trying to release, patterns it has been trying to interrupt gently. These 2 minutes are permission. Permission for truth to surface without panic. Permission for correction without pain. Do not underestimate small windows. 2 minutes is enough for angels to align assignments. 2 minutes is enough for awareness to unlock protection. 2 minutes is enough for your nervous system to receive peace it has not felt in a long time. This is why Michael said he needed only this. Because urgency does not always mean danger. Sometimes it means opportunity. As you listen, you may notice subtle sensations. A deep breath you did not force. A heaviness leaving your chest. Or perhaps nothing at all. All of it is acceptable. The work happening now is not dependent on feeling. It is dependent on agreement. Agreement to pause. Agreement to listen. Agreement to let heaven speak before the body has to escalate its request. There are 3 angels present, and they are not rushing. They are attentive, focused, precise. They are looking at patterns, rhythms, stress points you adapted to so gradually you forgot they were there. They are not alarmed. They are concerned in the way a skilled physician is concerned, noticing something early enough to correct it gently. Stay with me. Let your mind resist the urge to analyze every word. This is not information to be dissected. This is presence to be received. You are safe in these minutes. You are held, watched over. Nothing is being taken from you. Only burdens you were never meant to carry alone are being addressed. And my child, if something in you recognizes the importance of this pause, if your spirit feels the weight of these words without fear, let that recognition become a quiet testimony. Gently show your agreement by remaining connected to this message, allowing it to stay with you. And if you are willing, type the words "I am listening" in the comments. This is not for display. It is a declaration to your own soul that you chose awareness over avoidance. The 2 minutes are not over yet. In fact, now they truly begin. Because the angels are about to speak more clearly, and what they are noticing about your body has been hidden, not to harm you, but to protect you until now. My child, 3 angels are standing close now, not above you, not distant, but near enough to feel the rhythm of your breath. They are not speaking loudly. They are communicating with a kind of focus that does not need volume. Their attention is on your body, the vessel that has carried your calling quietly while your spirit remained willing. They are not alarmed, but they are intent, because what they see explains much of what you have felt. One angel watches the way tension has settled into places you rarely notice until the day is over. The shoulders that stay lifted even in rest. The jaw that tightens when you think you are calm. The subtle guarding your body has learned as a reflex, not because danger is present now, but because it once was. This angel does not judge this response. He recognizes it as intelligence shaped by experience. Still, he notes how long you have been holding yourself this way. Another angel listens, not with ears, but with awareness, to the internal rhythm of you, the pace of your thoughts, the speed at which your nervous system moves from calm to alert. He observes how quickly you shift into readiness, how rarely you feel fully at ease. This was not always so. There was a time when rest came easily, when your body trusted silence. That trust has been interrupted, not destroyed but interrupted by seasons that demanded too much vigilance. The third angel observes deeper still, tracing connections between emotion and flesh, where grief lingered without release, where responsibility pressed down for so long it began to feel like part of your structure. He sees how emotions you handled with grace still left imprints, not because you failed, but because you endured. The body remembers what the mind moves past. This is not weakness. This is biology woven with spirit. They speak softly among themselves, and their words are careful. They are not naming disease. They are naming patterns. Patterns of adaptation. Patterns of compensation. Patterns of strength that lasted longer than they should have needed to. Your body had been loyal to you, adjusting again and again so you could keep moving, keep showing up, keep being who others needed. But even loyalty has limits, and heaven respects those limits. What they see most clearly is not damage, but delay. Delay in release. Delay in restoration. Delay in giving yourself the same gentleness you so freely give others. Your body had been asking for partnership, not control. It has been signaling for collaboration, not command. And now, those signals have reached the spiritual realm clearly enough to prompt attention. You may have felt moments when your body seemed to hesitate, when energy dipped unexpectedly, when motivation lagged without explanation. These were not failures. They were pauses attempting to emerge. The angels recognized them as invitations that went unanswered, not out of neglect, but out of necessity. You were surviving. You were persevering. You were doing what you knew to do. They also see something hopeful. Beneath the tension, beneath the fatigue, there is resilience that has not been depleted. Your body is not given up. It hath been waiting, waiting for safety, waiting for permission to stand down from constant readiness, waiting for alignment between what your spirit knows and what your body feels allowed to express. This observation is not passive. It is the beginning of action. Heaven does not watch without intention. The angels are not merely reporting. They are preparing adjustments that do not shock the system, preparing relief that does not overwhelm, preparing restoration that respects the pace your body can receive. Stay present, my child. Nothing is being taken from you. Nothing is being exposed to harm you. What is being noticed is being honored, and what is being honored is already moving toward healing. The conversation continues, and one angel is about to speak with particular concern, not because something is wrong, but because something precious hath been strained for too long without relief. My child, now one angel steps forward, and his attention narrows with tenderness. His concern is not loud, but it is focused, like a physician who has found the exact place where strain has been hiding. He is not afraid of what he sees. He is protective of it. What draws his concern is not a single moment, but a long stretch of endurance that asked too much of one part of you without relief. He observes how your body learned to brace before you even realized you were doing it. How certain muscles, certain systems, stayed activated long after the threat had passed. Not because you chose it, but because your body adapted faster than your awareness. This angel understands adaptation. He knows it keeps you alive. But he also knows that what begins as protection can become pressure when it is never told it is safe to release. His concern rests on the places where emotion was swallowed instead of expressed. The moments when you said you were fine because there was no space to be anything else. The times you held yourself together for others, even when something inside you wanted to collapse into rest. Your body listened to your decisions. It followed your lead faithfully. But it also carried the cost quietly, storing what was never given permission to move through. He notices how your breath has learned to stay shallow in moments of uncertainty, how your body prepares for interruption even in calm. This is not your fault. This is the result of seasons where unpredictability required readiness at all times. Your nervous system became skilled, efficient, responsive. But skill without recovery becomes strain. Efficiency without softness becomes fatigue. And that fatigue has been asking for attention. The angel does not speak of this with disappointment. He speaks of it with respect. He sees strength that lasted longer than it should have needed to. He sees resilience that deserves relief. He sees a body that never abandoned you, even when you felt disconnected from it. His concern is not that something is broken, but that something has been overworked without being thanked, soothed, or allowed to stand down. There are areas where tension has become so familiar you no longer register it as tension. It feels like normal. It feels like who you are. But it is not who you were created to be. You were not designed to live in a constant state of internal readiness. You were designed for rhythm, for engagement and release, for action and restoration. The angel's concern is that rhythm was interrupted, not by choice but by necessity. He also sees how you have learned to override discomfort with purpose, how you tell yourself there are more important things to handle, how you minimize signals because others rely on you. This has made you dependable, but it has also made your body invisible to you. The angel knows this pattern well. He has seen it in many who carry light, many who give without counting the cost. And heaven always responds when the cost goes unnoticed for too long. What troubles him most gently is not what has happened, but how long you have done it alone. You did not complain. You did not ask for help. You adjusted. You endured. And while that is admirable, it is not meant to be permanent. Your body was never meant to carry the weight of both, the journey and the battle without rest in between. Still, hear this clearly. The angel is not announcing harm. He is announcing opportunity. The concern he raises is early enough to be addressed softly. The signals your body hath been sending are invitations, not warnings. They are requests for collaboration, not cries of failure. Heaven responds best to early whispers, and that is what you are responding to now. The angel turns toward me, and his concern becomes a recommendation. Not urgency, but intention. Not alarm, but adjustment. He knows that once awareness enters, change can begin without force. He knows that when the spirit and the body are brought back into partnership, healing follows naturally. My child, nothing about this is meant to frighten you. This concern is proof of care. Proof that you were seen before anything escalated. Proof that your body's loyalty hath been honored. What comes next is not exposure, but revelation. There are things you have not been told about what you have been carrying, and why it attached itself so quietly. My child, now the veil lifts gently, not all at once, not with force, but with clarity that arrives like dawn. What has been hidden is not hidden anymore, because you are ready to see it without fear. The angels speak carefully now, because the truth they reveal is delicate, and it has been misunderstood for a long time. What you have been carrying did not begin as damage. It began as response. A response to prolonged pressure. A response to emotional responsibility that outlasted its season. A response to being the strong one when weakness felt unsafe. Your body did what it was designed to do. It adapted. It absorbed. It compensated. But compensation over time leaves imprints, and those imprints are what you have been feeling. There were moments when you had no choice but to push forward. Moments when stopping would have cost too much. Moments of rest felt like surrender, and surrender felt dangerous. In those moments, your body stepped in and said, I will hold this for you. I will carry what your heart cannot process right now. I will tighten where I must, numb where I can, and keep you moving. That agreement was never meant to be permanent, but it was honored longer than intended. The hidden damage is not a wound in the way you imagine. It is stored tension that never received a release point. It is stress that became habitual. It is vigilance that forgot how to turn itself off. Your body learned to live in preparation mode, always scanning, always ready, always alert. Over time, this readiness blurred the line between safety and threat. Even when peace arrived, your body stayed prepared for impact. This is why rest is not always felt restful. This is why silence sometimes made you uneasy. This is why your body reacted before your mind could explain why. These are not failures. They are echoes of survival. Your body remembered what your mind had already moved past. And because it was never invited to let go, it held on faithfully. There is also something else that was hidden. Not everything you carried originated with you. Some of the weight your body absorbed came through proximity, through empathy, through connection. You feel deeply. You sense shifts in others. You take on atmospheres without meaning to. And in seasons where you were surrounded by instability, grief, or conflict, your body absorbed what your spirit was strong enough to withstand. That strength protected others, but it came at a cost you did not calculate. The angels revealed that certain patterns in your body formed as shields. Tightness formed to protect your heart. Fatigue formed to slow you down when your mind refused to. Discomfort formed as a boundary when you were not allowed to say no. Your body became the voice when your circumstances did not permit one. This was not rebellion. This was wisdom expressing itself the only way it could. You may have wondered why symptoms appeared without a clear cause, why things felt out of balance even when life seemed stable. This is why. The imbalance was not created by the present moment. It was inherited from past endurance. It was accumulated quietly, layer by layer, until your body reached a point where it could no longer compensate without consequence. Still, hear me carefully. Nothing here is irreversible. Nothing has passed a point of no return. What is revealed now is revealed early enough to be addressed gently. The danger was never in what your body held. The danger would have been in never acknowledging it. And that danger has already been avoided by your presence here. The angels speak of timing with relief. They say this one listened before the body had to scream. This one responded to the whisper. This one paused when prompted. That matters more than you realize. Heaven can work quickly when cooperation replaces resistance. Healing accelerates when awareness replaces denial. There is no accusation in this revelation, only understanding. Your body was never betraying you. It was protecting you in the only language it knew how to use. And now that you are listening, it can begin to change that language. Tension can learn to soften. Systems can relearn safety. Rhythms can be restored without shock. The hidden damage is not a sentence. It is information. And information in the hands of heaven becomes strategy, not fear. The angels are already adjusting their approach, recalibrating what support looks like, because now the truth is shared between realms. What was hidden in your body is no longer carried alone. But there is another layer to this revelation, one that explains why this endurance was prolonged, why relief was delayed, why rest felt interrupted even when you tried to claim it. Not all resistance came from circumstance. Some came from opposition. Not physical, not obvious, but subtle. persistent interference that sought to keep you in a state of depletion. This is not spoken to frighten you. It is spoken to clarify. When light is present, shadows lose their power, and the next revelation will show you how what tried to drain you was already being watched, already being confronted, already losing its access. Remain with me, my child. What is being uncovered now leads not to danger, but to justice. My child, now I speak of what opposed you quietly, not with noise, not with open attack, but with persistence that sought to wear you down over time. This was not an enemy of flesh and blood. This was interference that understood your sensitivity, your empathy, your tendency to give more than you take. It did not come to destroy you outright. It came to exhaust you slowly, hoping you would call depletion normal. There were influences around you that benefited from your constant availability. People, environments, even emotional dynamics that leaned on your strength without returning it. Some did this unconsciously. Others sensed your light and drew from it intentionally. You felt this as heaviness after certain conversations, as fatigue that followed specific interactions, as a drain that sleep alone could not correct. This was not imagination. This was energetic imbalance allowed to persist too long. The opposition worked through familiarity. You hid inside routine. You whispered that this was just how life is, that everyone feels this way, that rest could wait, that you were needed more than you were allowed to recover. And because you are loyal, because you value connection, because you do not abandon easily, you stayed present even when your body asked for distance. There was also jealousy at work, not the loud kind that announces itself, but the quiet kind that resents your steadiness, your compassion, your ability to endure. Some around you admired you while simultaneously drawing from you. They praised your strength while benefiting from your depletion. This created a subtle pressure to remain strong at all times, to never falter, to never need what you so freely gave. This interference did not create illness. It created imbalance. It interrupted rhythm. It kept your nervous system alert, your body prepared, your energy circulating outward instead of returning inward for renewal. Over time, this outward flow without replenishment strained systems that were designed to operate in cycles, not in constant output. The enemy's strategy was simple. If you never stopped, you would never notice. If you never rested deeply, you would never reset. If you normalized fatigue, you would never question it. But heaven noticed. Heaven always notices when one of my children carries more than their share. And when the body begins to register what the spirit has endured, intervention is authorized. I want you to understand this clearly. You did not invite this interference by being weak. You attracted it by being strong, by being safe, by being dependable. Light draws both healing and hunger. And without boundaries, hunger takes more than it should. This is not said to make you suspicious of everyone. It is said to free you from guilt. You were not wrong for giving. But you are not meant to give endlessly without return. The interference also worked internally. It encouraged you to dismiss your own needs, to delay care, to treat rest as a reward instead of a requirement. It reinforced the idea that stopping was selfish, that slowing down meant letting others down. These thoughts did not originate in truth. They originated in pressure. And pressure is never a reliable guide. Know this now. The access points are closing. Awareness removes permission. Boundaries form naturally when truth is acknowledged. What once flowed unchecked is being regulated. What once drained unnoticed is being limited. You are not losing compassion. You are gaining discernment. You are not withdrawing love. You are restoring balance. Michael stands guard over this shift. He does not fight what has already lost authority. He enforces what heaven has decided. And heaven has decided that your body will no longer be the battlefield for conflicts you were never meant to host. The interference that relied on your silence is being confronted by your awareness. Do not be afraid of this revelation. Nothing is being taken from you except what never belonged to you. Relationships that are healthy will adjust. Environments that are safe will support your restoration. Only what depends on your depletion will resist this change, and that resistance will reveal what must be restructured. This is not punishment. This is protection. Your body will begin to feel the difference as space returns, as pressure lifts, as vigilance eases. Not all at once, but gradually, kindly, sustainably. Heaven does not rip away what you are used to. It replaces it with what you need. Now the angels move from observation to action. What was identified is now being addressed. There is a divine investigation underway, not to accuse, but to correct. Lies are being separated from truth. False demands are being stripped of power. And what remains will be what truly belongs in your life and in your body. Stay with me, my child. Justice is not harsh when it comes from love. It is precise, and it brings peace where strain once lived. My child, now heaven moves with intention. This is the moment of divine investigation, where nothing is assumed and nothing is overlooked. Light is being directed deliberately, not to expose you, but to expose what attached itself to you without permission. This investigation is calm, thorough, and exact. There is no panic in it. There is authority. The angels are no longer discussing possibilities. They are tracing origins. They are following lines of influence back to their source, separating what is yours from what was imposed, what is natural from what was absorbed. This is how heaven restores order. Not by guessing, but by revealing truth piece by piece until confusion has nowhere left to hide. They look closely at patterns in your life, not to judge them, but to understand how certain pressures were allowed prolonged access. They see where responsibility exceeded season, where emotional labor became expectation, where you were relied upon without consent. These were not dramatic moments. They were small agreements made repeatedly, often out of love, often out of necessity. But small agreements accumulate, and heaven accounts for everyone. The investigation reveals that much of what strained your body was never required by destiny. It was circumstantial, temporary, and meant to pass through, not stay. Yet because you are consistent, because you finish what you start, because you do not abandon people or processes easily, you held on longer than was asked. Heaven does not condemn that. Heaven honors it. But heaven also corrects what honor has cost you. Now truth begins to rise. Lies that told you this exhaustion was normal are being dismantled. Lies that told you everyone lives this way are losing credibility. Lies that told you rest was weakness are being revoked. These lies did not shout. They blended in. They sounded practical. They sounded responsible. But they were not aligned with how you were designed to live. The angels also examine timing. They note how often relief almost came, but was postponed. How opportunities for rest appeared, but were overridden by obligation. How your body signaled clearly, but your circumstances demanded override. This was not rebellion against wisdom. This was survival. And survival always prioritizes continuity over comfort. Heaven understands this deeply. But survival is not meant to be permanent. It is a bridge, not a destination. The investigation confirms that the season requiring constant endurance has ended, even if your habits have not caught up yet. Your body has been living as if the threat remains, because no one told it the danger passed. Now heaven is delivering that message gently, repeatedly, until your systems believe it. The investigation also reveals something tender. Your prayers were heard long before you felt answers. Your quiet requests for a live were long. Your unspoken fatigue was noted. There were delays not because you were ignored, but because timing mattered. Intervention too early would have disrupted what still needed to be completed. Intervention too late would have required however correction. This moment was chosen with precision. Nothing about this process is rushed. Heaven does not tear down what must be unwound carefully. The investigation proceeds with patience because your body responds best to safety, not force. This is why awareness came first. This is why you were invited to listen before anything shifted dramatically. Cooperation makes healing gentle. As truth continues to surface, you may begin to notice clarity in unexpected places. Desires shifting, tolerance changing, a quiet resistance to what once drained you. This is not rebellion. This is alignment reasserting itself. Your body and spirit are beginning to speak the same language again. The investigation reaches its conclusion not with accusation, but with instruction. Adjustments are recommended. Boundaries are reinforced. Access points are closed. Support is reassigned. Heaven does not simply remove strain. It replaces it with structure that sustains you. This is restoration done intelligently. Michael stands as witness to this process, ensuring that what is corrected does not reopen. His presence signals finality. What has been addressed will not be revisited in the same way. Lessons learned will not need to be repeated through exhaustion. You are being spared repetition. Now the shift begins. Subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, but real. Your body is about to respond, not because it was forced, but because it finally feels safe enough to change. When safety returns, healing follows naturally. Stay with me, my child. The investigation has done its work. Now you will begin to feel the effects, and they will not overwhelm you. They will support you. My child, now the shift moves from the unseen into the felt. This is where your body begins to respond, not dramatically, not all at once, but in quiet ways that might surprise you. When pressure lifts, the body does not celebrate loudly. It exhales. It releases in increments. It tests safety gently before it trusts it fully. And that is what is happening now. You may notice moments where your breath deepens without effort. Moments where your shoulders drop and you are not sure why. Moments where your thoughts slow just enough for space to appear between them. These are not coincidences. These are responses. Your body is receiving the message heaven sent. The message that says, you are allowed to rest now. You are no longer required to stay on guard. Prayer has already begun to work through you, even if you have not spoken words recently. The prayers that matter most are not always verbal. Sometimes they are sighs. Sometimes they are the decision to pause. Sometimes they are the willingness to listen instead of push. Your body recognizes prayer as safety. It responds to it instinctively, because prayer realigns you with truth, and truth calms what fear kept tense. There is a recalibration happening in your nervous system. Signals that once triggered alertness are being reassessed. The body is learning that not every silence is dangerous. Not every pause requires preparation. Not every quiet moment precedes impact. This relearning takes time, and heaven honors that process. There is no pressure for instant change. Consistency matters more than speed. You might feel emotion surface unexpectedly, a sudden wave of sadness, relief without a clear reason, even tears that do not match your thoughts. This is not regression. This is release. When the body feels safe enough, it lets go of what it has been holding. It does not ask permission from the mind. It simply unloads what no longer needs to be stored. Let this happen gently. Do not analyze it away. Your body is also responding to the reduction of external pressure. As access points close, energy begins to return inward. You may notice a subtle decrease in clarity, a desire for simplicity, or resistance to unnecessary noise. This is restoration asserting itself. When your body no longer has to defend constantly, it begins to conserve and rebuild. Heaven is not asking you to do anything complicated. There is no ritual required, no performance expected. The only invitation is awareness. When you notice tension, acknowledge it without judgment. When you notice fatigue, honor it without guilt. When you notice relief, receive it without suspicion. These small agreements reinforce safety more powerfully than force ever could. Your body responds best to kindness, not discipline, not pressure. Kindness, the kind that says, "I hear you now." The kind that says, "You do not have to shout anymore." This kindness creates trust, and trust accelerates healing in ways effort never can. The angels watch with satisfaction, not because everything is finished, but because the direction has changed. Forward no longer means push. Forward now means alignment. Progress no longer requires pain as proof. Progress now feels quieter, steadier, more sustainable. You may still have moments of old patterns resurfacing. That does not mean this is failing. It means habit is unwinding. Patterns that formed over years do not dissolve in minutes, but they do lose authority once they are recognized. Each time you choose presence over pressure, you weaken what once controlled you. My child, your body has been waiting for this partnership. It has been loyal without complaint, adaptable without resentment. Now it is being met with understanding, and that changes everything. Healing is not something being done to you. It is something being allowed through you. Remain with me. What happens next involves connection, something deeper than you realized, something that has influenced this journey more than you know. And when it is revealed, it will make sense of why your healing has always been tied to love. My child, now I speak of a connection that has quietly influenced your body more than you understood. There is a bond tied to your healing, one that reaches beyond emotion and into rhythm, into breath, into the way your nervous system recognizes safety. This connection is not imaginary. It is not coincidence. It is woven into your design. There is a soulmate presence linked to you, whether near or distant, known or not yet fully revealed. This connection has always affected you physically, not just emotionally. When this soul is at peace, your body softens without explanation. When this soul is distressed, you feel it as heaviness, restlessness, or fatigue you cannot trace. You are attuned to each other at a level that bypasses logic. This attunement is powerful, but it has also made you vulnerable. Your body has been carrying concern that was not entirely yours. Worry that did not originate in your own circumstances. Emotional vigilance that came from sensing another's instability. You felt responsible without realizing why. You tried to stabilize yourself so you could stabilize what you were connected to. This is not codependence. This is spiritual sensitivity operating without boundaries. The soulmate connected to you has been in a season of inner collapse. Fear, guilt, confusion, a sense of losing direction. They did not always speak this aloud, but you felt it. Your body responded by bracing, by staying alert, by holding tension as if readiness could somehow protect them. Love expressed itself through endurance, but endurance was never meant to replace peace. This connection was not meant to drain you. It was meant to awaken both of you. But awakening often begins with imbalance before alignment arrives. The angels see how your body took on the role of anchor, grounding what felt unstable. They also see how long you did this without reciprocity, without rest, without being held in return. And now hear me carefully. This bond is not being severed. It is being corrected. Love does not require self-erasure. Connection does not require depletion. As heaven restores balance in you, it also sends signal to the one connected to you. They are beginning to wake up, to realize how much they leaned without giving, to feel the fear of losing you not through absence but through awareness. Your healing is influencing them already. As your body releases tension, they feel distance where they once felt access. This is not punishment. This is awakening. They are being called to stand on their own strength, to face what they avoided while you carried weight for both of you. This may create discomfort for them, confusion, even regret. But it is necessary. The sacred connection between you is shifting from rescue to resonance, from strain to harmony. When two souls are aligned, they do not survive by leaning. They thrive by standing together. Your body has been preparing for this shift long before your mind understood it. That is why healing felt urgent now. The old dynamic could not continue without cost. As this correction unfolds, you may notice your body responding strongly to thoughts of this person, either with relief, clarity, or a sudden calm where there was once tension. These are signals that alignment is occurring. Trust them. You are not losing connection. You are gaining truth. This awakening in your soulmate will bring humility, a realization of how close they came to losing something sacred, a fear of separation that births maturity instead of panic. And as they stabilize, your body will no longer need to compensate. Healing will deepen naturally because the source of strain will no longer be active. My child, you were never meant to carry love alone, and you will not continue to do so. What comes next is protection, firm and final. Michael does not allow cycles to repeat once truth had been revealed. The next movement is a reversal, where what drained you is replaced by what strengthens you. Remain with me. The shield is about to be raised. My child, now Michael steps fully forward, and his presence is unmistakable. This is not a moment of struggle. This is a moment of enforcement. The shield is raised not in reaction, but in resolution. What has been identified will not be permitted to return in the same form. Cycles end when authority is applied, and authority is what surrounds you now. This shield is not heavy, and does not restrict you. It is precise, responsive, intelligent. It does not block love. It blocks exploitation. It will shut down connection. It regulates access. What once reached you freely without discernment must now pass through truth. And what cannot pass through truth will fall away on its own. Michael's shield settles around your body first, because that is where the strain manifested. Your nervous system feels this before your thoughts do. A sense of containment. A sense of being held instead of braced. The constant outward vigilance begins to dissolve, because something stronger has taken its place. You no longer have to be on guard when you are guarded. This is the reversal. Where depletion once followed giving, renewal will now follow discernment. Where fatigue once followed love, strength will now follow alignment. What drained you quietly loses its grip, not because you fought it, but because it no longer has permission to stay. Michael does not argue with what is leaving. He does not negotiate with old patterns. He stands, and what is misaligned recognizes authority immediately. This is why you may feel sudden clarity about what you can no longer tolerate, sudden resolve about what you will no longer carry. This is not hardness. This is protection integrating into your identity. The reversal also affects your future, not just your present. Situations that would have demanded the old version of you will no longer present themselves in the same way. Opportunities that require self-betrayal will quietly pass you by. Relationships that depend on imbalance will either transform or dissolve. This is not loss. This is refinement. Your body responds with relief. Muscles that stayed tense out of habit begin to soften. Systems that ran on urgency begin to recalibrate. Healing deepens not because effort increases, but because resistance decreases. Safety accelerates restoration more than force ever could. Michael's presence also sends a message beyond you. To what wanted you. To what fed on your availability. To what assumed your endurance was endless. That season is over. Not with anger. With finality. You are not closing your heart. You are closing access to what harmed you quietly. There will be no retaliation. There will be no backlash. What leaves does so because it has no ground to stand on anymore. Truth has removed its footing. Authority has sealed the door. You are not required to explain this shift to anyone. Your body will testify for you by how it responds. This shield remains, not temporarily, not conditionally. It adjusts with you as you grow. It does not isolate you. It stabilizes you. From this place, love becomes mutual. Giving becomes sustainable. Strength becomes shared. My child, this reversal is gentle because it is complete. You will not be pulled back into the same exhaustion. You will recognize the signs sooner. You will trust your body faster. You will honor your limits without guilt. That is Michael's work sealed into your life. Now there is only blessing left to speak. What follows this correction is not caution, but promise. Destiny realigns when strain is removed. And what is coming toward you requires a body at peace, not a body at war. Remain with me. The final words are for reassurance, and they are meant to stay with you long after this moment ends. My child, now rest in this truth. What was misaligned hath been corrected. What was strained hath been acknowledged. What was burdened has been relieved. You are not leaving this moment the same way you entered it, even if the change feels quiet. Quiet does not mean small. Quiet means stable. Quiet means lasting. I bless your body with peace that settles deep, not just on the surface. Peace that reaches the places you forgot were tense. Peace that teaches your breath a new rhythm. Peace that tells your muscles they are no longer required to hold what has passed. Let restoration move through you naturally, without pressure, without expectation. Healing does not need to be forced when safety is present. I bless your mind with clarity that does not race, with thoughts that arrive gently and leave when they are done, with discernment that feels calm instead of urgent. You no longer need to anticipate harm. You no longer need to prepare for impact. Awareness has replaced vigilance, and wisdom has replaced strain. I bless your heart with assurance. You did not endure for nothing. Nothing you carried was wasted. Even what exhausted you taught you something sacred about your capacity to love, to remain, to persevere. But that season has fulfilled its purpose. You are not meant to prove your strength again through depletion. You are meant to live from strength that is renewed. I bless the connection tied to your destiny. What is meant for you will meet you in balance, not imbalance. in mutual presence, not one-sided endurance. Love will no longer require you to disappear to keep it alive. The one aligned with you will rise into responsibility, because you are no longer carrying what belongs to both of you alone. I bless your future with environments that support your body instead of taxing it, with rhythms that honor rest as much as action, with opportunities that do not demand self-betrayal as the price of entry. What is coming will feel different because you are different. You will recognize peace not as boredom, but as confirmation. I bless the work of heaven that continues beyond this moment. Angels remain attentive. Michael remains positioned. The shield remains active. Nothing that was removed will return disguise. Nothing that was corrected will require repetition. You are not circling the same lesson again. You are moving forward. And when old sensations try to echo, when habit whispers the past, you will remember this truth. Your body is not your enemy. It is your ally. It spoke because it trusted you would listen. And now that you have, it will learn to rest in ways it has not known for a long time. Carry this assurance with you. You are safe. You are seen. You are supported. What needed to be addressed has been addressed. What needed to end has ended. What needs to begin will unfold at the pace your peace can sustain. Go gently now. Not because you are fragile, but because you are valuable. And everything ahead of you is aligning to reflect that truth.